It's always good to run into old friends. DJ Ekin, Tampa's most connected DJ in the building. The new Hot 1015 Plies in the building. What up, homie?
What's up, fam? What's good?
Man, I ain't seen you in a minute.
I mean, good things, man.
No,
anytime we don't see each other, I mean, good things. Last time I seen you and I ran into you again, you hadn't got super rich. I ain't seen you this time. You got super rich again. So, it's good.
Come on, man. I think that just means we working, man.
That's all it means.
You back at it. I see you back at it.
Better believe it.
New single out?
Yeah. Got what we call the setup record before we get to the other record. So,
okay.
It stuck your head out and just doing what we needed to do.
Well, do me a favor, man, because I happen to be close to you in the same city and that sort of thing. What's the man been up to for a while? Because, the last record came out.
Mm-hmm.
We dropped a few records here and there, a few singles here and there.
Yeah.
What's been going on, man?
Hey, man, make shit is underneath right. For me, man, I ain't want to be in a rush this time. Like, I want to make sure from an artistic standpoint, I just wanted to make sure that I was growing as an artist, man, but still talking about what was important to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's being able to be a voice for my people. Being able to get people to look at life through the struggle of my eyes and me being able to be on the platform to deliver what I like to call honest music. So for me, I wanted to make sure this time before I came with a project or before I woke Atlantic up and tell them that I was ready to go, I wanted to make sure all my ducks was in line. So I got them in line now.
Okay. Well, clear this up because it don't stop. The online rumors, everything. The rumors was, man, that, you had these records, you was ready to come out. Then you wasn't ready to come out. And then, of course, that you was having label woes. Any of that going on, Plies? Any of that?
That's one thing about my business partners. They respect what I do, man, and I respect what they do.
Right.
They let me tell them when I'm ready to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my 4 previous albums, I set dates before I was even finished with my album. And I chased the date. But this time here, I wanted to make sure the music told me when the time was right. So, Atlantic, Slip and Slide, Big Gates, they got the utmost respect for what I do. So I respect them for respecting me. But, you only get that respect from bringing back the right results. So I've been able to bring them the right results. So we still moving forward. We good.
Let me ask you, man, with the state of where music is at right now, man, because it's since the last time, that you had the album project out, because, you never stop watching the streets. That's one thing I give you. It's been a lot going on, man. It's a lot of people have dropped, a lot of records here. Matter of fact, even since the last time you had a record out, I've seen artists come with big records, and I'm asking where they at now.
Yeah.
How do you avoid that?
It's just like anything else, man. It's about having a real brand.
Right.
And for me, I think when your situation organic, when the streets hold you up, and I'm only speaking from a street artist perspective, but when the streets hold you up, and your situation is a real situation, it allows you to stay around longer. A lot of times when you come out and you catch a record first, and that's the first time a person in the market has ever had an opportunity to get to know who you is as an artist.
Right.
Not in every case, but in most cases, a lot of those artists don't stick around. It's about, not only having the records that connect that radio, man, but to have substance and have content in that music. And I think whether it's in the streets, whether it's in country music, whether it's in suburban America, it's all about being able to make that music that touch people in their chest and their heart, man. And I think for me, that's been the thing that held me up so long.
Right. Speaking of your brand, and we've always had this thing with me and you. I had some of my dudes, and they was like, man, you got to hear this dude, Plies. And I had never met you, heard nothing. Then I hear you. Then we get cool, and I learn something about you, and I learn a lot about you. You give back, and you do speak a lot for the streets and for the struggle. A lot of voices that a lot of people probably would never have. Mm-hmm. Did it bother you online, though, when you did all of this, and then I've seen you, 10,000 here, something for somebody's college fund. You ain't even know these people, but then you get somebody online who trying to make a quick name that want to question, your movement or the Plies, what Plies stand for?
It's part of it. Like I always tell people, man, it ain't, if you watch TV long enough, I don't know how much you're in front of it, but, you got churches talking about Popeyes. You got, Ben and Jerry's talking about Cold Stone. It's part of the game. I seen a commercial probably about a couple months ago, and it was it was Subway. They wasn't talking about Quiznos. They were talking about McDonald's. I said, this is crazy. I said, man, this crazy. Like, why is Subway worrying about McDonald's? Like,
right.
You ain't sell the same thing. But you trying to convince people how bad McDonald's food is.
Right.
So for me, it's always gonna be business, man. But I'm just glad I was one of them people who ain't had to take that route. Like, I came in the game off of not really understanding the game, but just making music that I liked it. And other people ended up liking it, man. But it's part of the game. It happened to you. It happened to me. It happened to everybody.
Right. So let's get to the record, man. We got the new single out. And I would like to just be able to say it, but
You got to be able to say it, E. Come
man,
on,
is we
Hey,
or
man,
what? How about we
E.
just call it a what? Is we or what?
Oh, E, man, listen, man. Don't you come over here and get this high-paying job, and now all of a sudden you want to be
You know what?
politically correct with
You
me.
know
Come
what?
on,
Then I
E,
ain't gonna
man.
be politically
Come
correct because you
on,
know what I
man.
can do. I always got the bleep function working over here. It's what? That's a new single, dude.
That's it. Let's go.
Come on, man. Plies record. You ready for the club right now?
Hey, man, when I say it's one of them situations, E, man, that's one of them records. I like to call it honest record. I just feel like it's honest music that I make. But, for some people, they might look at it and feel like it was a little edgy, but I love it.
Right. Who did it?
Actually, I went in with Rico, man. Me and Rico Love actually went in and did a couple records together. It was one of them situations it was one of them sessions, should I say, that I don't have them all the time, man. When I go in with what I like, I guess you definitely could say or argue anyway that he the hottest pen in the game. But for me to go in with him, I think me and Rico probably cut 12 records.
Wow.
It was a crazy session, like a session I ain't never had before, like ever.
And so you did about 12 records with Rico. I know you've done records with other people. You got your own team you work with.
Mm-hmm.
And the album you still not quite done with the album yet?
100 and my brother was telling me the other day, I recorded 100. I got 162 songs recorded that we got to pick 18 songs out of for the album.
You got a title?
Yeah, Purple Heart.
Purple Heart.
Yeah.
Come on, it's some deeper meaning behind that because you a thinker, dude.
I just felt like, my brother's in prison, man. It was something that we wanted to go with on the last album, but we felt like we wanted to transition into this whole Purple Heart movement, and it ain't for us. It was just really sitting down and really understanding what we were standing on. I felt like people who done been through what we done been through. It ain't no white black thing. It's just about people who done been through the struggle. People who come from nothing, man, and people who sacrifice everything to live better. Whether it's a single parent, whether it's a single parent who dealing with a boyfriend that's incarcerated for whatever his reason is, and she taking care of the family by herself. I just feel like a lot of us that come from the struggle, I feel like we deserve a Purple Heart too.
Right.
So for me, I wanted to use that whole theme and not deviate from the true meaning of it. Like, it's people that serve our country every day that we know their story. It don't get no gangster, no realer, no solid than the people that serve our country that walk away with the Purple Heart as well. So it's just about the struggle in life, man, whether you're doing it from a military standpoint or whether you're doing it from an everyday struggle, whether you're in college, providing for yourself. I just feel like at the end of the day, all them people deserve Purple Hearts too.
Wow. So we got a date on the album.
Yeah, right now we got it in limbo. Like I said, I want the music to tell me.
Right.
We either looking at Black Friday or we looking at Christmas.
So we are looking at fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Okay,
the
so
big dog quarter.
Okay, okay, because that's a big dog quarter now.
The A artist quarter. The A-list artist quarter.
So you ready?
I'm ready, man.
So what else you got? I know you got a few artists signed.
Yeah. Right now, spending a lot of my time with Extra. Homegrown Tampa artist. I told him the other day, man, he way more talented than I was from a musical standpoint. I think he one of the few people that I met that do music that if he wasn't getting paid for it, he'll still do it.
Right.
But for me, I've been spending a lot of my time trying to make sure he right and working on my own craft at the same time. So I just wanted to spend more time. This is the first time I recorded music and gave it to my brother, and he loved it. And I listened to it a little bit, and I said, man, I want to change these 2-3 words. Usually when I do music, I do it, and if I like it or if he like it, it's just be done, and I move forward. But I'm just going back, really challenging myself to make sure that this body of work is what I want to stand on and something that can be around for the next 15 years.
Right. So, okay, so we got the album, we got artists. Here's what I want to know, because everybody, they ask me, and I don't know because I ain't no check writer.
What up?
If somebody want to get signed, they want to get the Plies and get signed. How does it happen? Like, how does it happen? How do artists get like this that you got checkbook. You big Gates. You a check writer.
Mm-hmm.
How does an artist because they can tweet you ain't looking for that. They can hit you on it. All these other things they try to tag you in.
You never should have to tell anybody that you hot. That's why I always tell
Boom.
people. You never have to tell anybody you hot. Like, I had a conversation with somebody. I was on the road. I was moving around in Miami a couple days ago, and they was telling me about they was the hottest in the city, and et cetera, et cetera. But when the music's standing up, people gonna find you.
Right.
And I always tell people, like, never go chasing the deal. Don't go chasing the deal. because it ain't gonna be the right deal. But when that music standing up and you to that point, people gonna come find you when the music right. So I always tell people that whether it's them bringing their music to me, some people you run across too that they just talented and they got it, but you can put them in your system and mold them into being the artist that you want them to be. Like when we got up with Extra, he didn't have a situation.
Right.
He had locally, people knew who he was and
he was hot.
Respected what it was that he did. And I always think that's a great thing. But for me, I never knew his story. I just seen him on YouTube. Somebody showed him to me on YouTube, and I seen him in the kitchen. They were cooking some Roman noodles or something. They were in the kitchen. He was just freestyling. So by me not being a freestyler, I said, man, like you just like tough. Like he was talented to me, but I felt like with the right guidance, he can be probably one of the biggest artists in the game if he committed himself to it. And I think he did that.
Boy, can you get that other point though one more time? Like, cause I like that one. If you hot,
you ain't got to come find people for a deal. You ain't got to beg people for a deal. When you hot, they gonna find you.
There it is, man. I'm gonna let you go because I know you're busy, man. And it's good to see you, man. It's always good to see you.
You already know I'm rocking with you, man.
It's always good to see you. The album, fourth quarter, Big Dog Quarter, Purple Heart.
Better believe it.
Plies. Yo, man, it's always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Can we talk again soon when the album drop?
Hey, Eek, I done seen you 2 different times, and every time I done seen you, you done got more richer. So you tell me if we can talk and do this soon.
I tell you what.
Right.
This is what I'm gonna tell you. Wherever you having the party at, the release party at, I'm coming. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm coming. I just want to be in there for the experience.
That's a done deal.
Done deal.
Yep.
Plies, homie. Plies. Purple Heart album in stores, fourth quarter. Single out right now. I can't do it twice, but I'll just call it or what? It's a club banger, guaranteed. Can I just call it or what, bro? Can I just do that?
Yeah. The label call it what we doing. So
that's what we'll do then. What we doing? That's what we'll call it. What we doing? Shouts out to Plies, the entire Big Gates family too. Look out for something. Is it something extra, right?
Yeah.
We got that right.
You got something extra?
Hey, give me, because if they don't already know, give me your Twitter, give me your Instagram.
Follow me on Twitter at Plies, Plies. Same thing on Instagram, Plies.
You got good pictures?
Man, I don't take pictures like that for real, Eek. So my Instagram game, Atlantic they be running me through the mill about that Instagram, man. They telling me it's a whole nother world, so they grooming me in it a little bit. But
I know you be in some spots that you probably could put some pictures out there.
I be in some spots that I can't take no pictures. I be getting myself away if I take some pictures where I'm at.
Understandable. I respect that. Good to see you as always, man. Fourth quarter, Purple Heart in stores. We'll look for that date real soon. Black Friday, somewhere around there in Plies, the homie.
10-4.